What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for joining me today. This is D Sports. Gotta get my notes ready for y'all. But thank y'all for joining me in this video. Apologize for my last video being pretty noisy, right? Babysitting my little cousin, but I wanted to get that video out as quick as I could, just for the simple fact that I got a lot. It's gonna be a busy weekend for me, so I want to get the content out as much as I can. But today, so in my last video, I talked about, so this is focusing on the Jaguars. So today in this video, we're going to strictly talk about some potential free agents that the Jaguars will target now that they've cleared a bunch of cap space. They are now up to over $63 million in cap space. And these are some free agent targets who they can, potentially go after in free agency. And I think have a realistic chance of potentially landing these guys, right? Obviously, right, these guys, they want to get paid. They're probably not going to get paid by their current teams that they're on right now. So obviously, and also Jacksonville, they need to improve. They need to get better, need to build around Trevor Lawrence, add more talent in that building, and it's a new regime. So here's some guys, and here's like a top list of candidates who I expect the Jaguars to go after. So kind of ranking them, I would say the first guy on my list, and probably like free agent board, right, that I expect the Jaguars to go after is Drew Dolman, the center out from the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be a free agent. Since his second season has been a starter, I think he started 40 of 57 games in his career. He did only play 9 games last year, but for the Falcons last year, had a 78.8 PFF grade, which was top 5 among centers and offensive linemen, PFR and centers, and then also at his position had a 79.8 PFF grade, which was also top 5 in his position, a 66.6 pass blocking grade. I think that grade can be a bit debatable. I think he's probably a better pass blocker than what PFF states, but just also when you turn on the film, since taking over as a starter, Drew Dolman has been very good for the Atlanta Falcons and really held his own and done a great job for them. A big reason why Bijan Robinson has really the last 2 seasons played very well. So, bringing him in, right, center's is a glaring need, right? Jacksonville, their needs, right? Center, guard, wide receiver, corner, safety, right? Those, we've got some needs. Designated pass rusher is also a key need of ours. Second tight end. So we've got some needs in some areas we need to address, and luckily we have free agency and the draft to address those needs and add depth as well. But Drew Dolman, right, I feel like, he would slot in. Obviously, you look at it, he'll be likely the top paid center. Right now, Creed Humphrey is the top paid center at $18 million. I do expect Drew Dolman, if not to pass that, he will be the second highest paid center, I think, right beside, I think, Frank Ragnow at, I think, $13 or $15 million a year. But yeah, so you got those guys there. Potentially a deal I could see a 4-year, any ranging from $64 to $76 million, 16 to 19 million, or obviously 18.5 million to reset the center market. Again, center is not a top paid position. Again, it's Creed Humphrey at 18 million. That is pretty good. So the Jaguars don't have to literally break the bank and give him a mega contract. It's going to be a good contract. He's going to get paid. The man gonna get paid, but it's nothing where he has to get over $20+ million like how the guard or the tackle market is. So with the center market being that low, and yeah, it's a lot of money, but under $20 million, that's a win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So even him resetting the market at like $18.15 million or more million dollars is not the end of the world. And you'll see you're going to see a lot of players, right? And this is how free agency is. You're going to see a lot of players, right, get a big contract, and potentially you'll maybe look at it and be like, they got overpaid. But that's just the nature of the business and free agency. Players are going to get paid, and teams are trying to improve. I would say a top option for the Jaguars too, right? We need a guard. Tevin Jenkins in free agency, right, for the Chicago Bears, 4-year starter. He started the last, I think, 2 years at guard. Came in as a tackle, was drafted out of Oklahoma State. Big, physical, nasty offensive lineman, and that's what the Jaguars need. They need guys who are athletic, who are strong, who are physical, and have that nasty tenacity to them when it comes to blocking in the trenches, and that's what Jacksonville needs. They need to get better in the run game, so why not do that, right, and adding a Tevin Jenkins, a guy who I liked coming out of college, for the Jaguars to potentially, beef up the trenches. Same draft class, 2021, that Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence came in, so getting him, I think, too, he fits, same draft class, would really work out for Jacksonville. I could see him, right, so the guard market is a little higher, right? Trey Smith is now at the top with his franchise tag at $23.2 million. I could see him potentially getting a 4-year deal. I think he's 26 years old, so a 4-year, similar deal to what Robert Hunt got from the Panthers. He got a 5-year, $100 million deal. I expect the Jaguars to be like a 4-year, $80 million deal, $56 million fully guaranteed, and making Tevin Jenkins one of the highest paid guards in free agency. He's coming off a really good season for the Bears, one of the lone bright spots on an offensive line that wasn't great. Again, I think a lot of it too was just how that team was. I don't think they were well coached. They were not well coached, obviously, last year, and they had that much talent. They were not well coached on that offensive side of the ball. But Tevin Jenkins, despite the inefficiencies of the Bears offense, he still was a lone bright spot on an offensive line that pretty much struggled throughout the season. So Tevin Jenkins will certainly, to me, I think makes a lot of sense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We need a corner and we need safety. So I would say right now, Javon Holland, the safety from the Miami Dolphins, he's an all-around playmaker. Now, he didn't have any interceptions last year, but if you remember, he forced the fumble on Travis Etienne, and it killed the momentum game. All the momentum was in Jacksonville's hands, and Travis Etienne was getting ready to score a touchdown, and Javon Holland came and hit him and punched the ball, and the ball came out, and Etienne fumbled the ball and basically fumbled the game away, because after that, Miami got momentum, and it was wraps. That game was wraps, and pretty much it just seemed like it took the soul out of our season that year. Jen talked about it. Jordan Lugo, who I watch a lot, he talked about it, man. Like, that play, it looks like, a simple forced fumble play, guy loses the ball, but it just looked like the whole vibe of the Jaguars was killed that day, man. So, but Javon Holland, all-around playmaker, and he does it all. He's not just a cover safety or your traditional coverage free safety. He can play both safety positions, can play in the box, can play in the back end, can do everything else, and he's good in coverage. 301 tackles in his career, 25 tackles, 5 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. He is an all-around playmaker. Doesn't have a lot of picks, yes, as a safety, but what Miami has asked him to do, kind of play each and every position in the slot, in the box, deep in safety, deep back end in safety. That's really good. Like, bringing in players who can have versatility, but is also physical. And Anthony Campanile, our new DC who comes from the Green Bay coaching staff, he wants to have a physical and versatile defense. So Javon Holland, I think the safety market, right? Minka Fitzpatrick's making over $19 million. I know Derwin James is making over $19 million. There was a safety too that just got a really big contract. I think it was last year, but I can't remember who it was. So forgive me for that. But I expect Javon Holland to get a big payday, potentially a $20 million, $18 to $20 million plus deal as well. So when you think about it there, and again, in coverage, while he didn't have any interceptions, he allowed, in coverage per Pro Football Reference, a 54% completion percentage allowed while targeted, and in quarterback rating of 89. So that's pretty darn good in coverage. It shows that, and I think only allowed 2 touchdowns. So he holds his own, does well in coverage. And that's what the Jaguars need, and I expect to in a new system. He'll make more plays on the football, getting his hands on the football. So I think it makes a lot of sense, right? And an all-around playmaker bringing in for Jacksonville, and will upgrade the safety position too from Andre Sisco, who I expect to hit the open market. Another guy that I look for the Jaguars to target is, and I think would be a good fit, would be Carlton Davis from the Detroit Lions. The guy was a second-round pick from Tampa in 2018, 2019. Played 5 seasons there, got traded to Detroit, and had a good season. He played 13 games, missed the last 5 games with a broken jaw, pretty nasty injury, but when the 13 games, he was absolutely terrific. He's a tall, 6'1", 200-plus pound corner, who is also physical, plays really good in man zone coverage. Go watch the Houston game last year, and you will see Carlton Davis just make absolutely game-changing. The big reason why Detroit and Jared Goff had a horrible game, 5 picks. You want to know a big reason why they came back and won that game is because Carlton Davis gave C.J. Stroud a really hard time. When C.J. Stroud targeted him, Carlton Davis was absolutely shutting that mess down. C.J. Stroud couldn't do anything. 2 interceptions that game, the 2 interceptions he had last season, 56 tackles, 11 pass breakups. And again, in coverage, a 55% completion percentage allowed when targeted. Really good in a 77 passer rating when targeted as well. Really good in coverage, and we need that. We need guys. He's a little older. He is 29 years old. But again, I could see him getting a 2 to 3 year deal with about a base salary of $14 million a year. So I would say a 3-year, $42 million deal, $26 million fully guaranteed. to pair with Tyson Campbell. And to me, while it's maybe not the elite of the top cornerback duels in the game, it will be one of the best. And when Tyson Campbell's healthy, when he is healthy, and again, there's a bit of an injury there, and Tyson Campbell has his durability concerns, but I thought Tyson Campbell had a good bounce back season last year, still needs to improve in his man coverage a bit, but Tyson Campbell, and you pair those two corners who are tall, long, and can cover and can hit, play, be physical, I feel like it makes a lot of sense to bring him in. Lastly, like top target I would look to bring in if I'm Jacksonville is Chris Godwin, right? And for the simple fact, look, I know he's dealt with some injuries right in his career, and I know he's coming off an injury this past year in the season, an ankle injury. To me, I blame that a lot on Tampa Bay and just playing him in garbage time versus the Baltimore Ravens when they should have just sat all their players down. But nope, they kept playing their guys. He gets hurt, he's out for the season, and he's a free agent this year, so definitely hurts his market a bit. But when Chris Godwin has been healthy, and I think he'll be an upgrade over Christian Kirk. When he's been healthy, Chris Godwin has proven to be one of the top quality role receivers in the NFL. He's definitely a number 2. Even if you were to ask me a couple years ago, I think he's a number 1 on multiple teams, just simply put. And I think he'll be an upgrade over Christian Kirk for the simple fact he's bigger, he's taller, he's got better hands, and can play on the outside. Christian Kirk is strictly a slot receiver. He is not an outside receiver. His strength is in the slot. He does his dirty work in the slot. And with Chris Godwin, he can do both, play inside, play outside, and also, everything you take into account there. When the 7 games he played, 50 catches, 576 yards, 5 touchdowns, the familiarity with Liam Cohen, for me, it makes a bunch of sense. To me, he got a 3-year, $60 million deal in free agency 3 years ago when he got that deal. Now, I don't expect him to hit the $20 million mark due to his injury, but I do expect him to still make relatively anywhere from $15 to $17 million in salary. So, and he's 29 years old, so not that old, so he could get another 3-year contract, will be 32 at the end of that. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Some potential other targets that I could look for the Jaguars to target in free agency or in via trade. Cooper Kupp, right? We'll see what happens with Cooper Kupp. Again, that familiarity with Liam Cohen and James Gladstone from their time in Los Angeles. Cooper Kupp's coming off, obviously, in 10 games, 67 catches, 710 yards, 6 touchdowns. When Cooper Kupp has been healthy, he has been one of the most productive receivers in the NFL. The problem has simply been injuries, and he is getting older. He's 32 years old this year, and he's dealt with a lot of injuries. And, I tell my boy Sai a lot, I love Cooper Kupp. I respect Cooper Kupp's game a lot, and again, it's no disrespect to him, but just the injuries, man, they scare me. And I'm putting him on this list for the simple fact of the Liam Cohen and the former Los Angeles Rams connect, right, and Liam Cohen. And again, a reliable slot wide receiver who can also play on the outside. But also, it comes with some risks, right, because we just traded Christian Kirk, who dealt with injuries. Now we're trading for another injury-prone wide receiver, right? So, or potentially signing him because he could likely get cut. If they're not able to find a trade partner. So we'll see where that goes with Los Angeles. But Cooper Kupp's an option. Charvarius Ward from the San Francisco 49ers is also another guy, tall, long, big corner, can tackle, can hit. Obviously had an up and down year last year, but obviously, had a very tragic personal matter happen in his family. Don't want to specify any of that, just out of respect for privacy for him. But Charvarius Ward has really developed into a really good starting corner for the 49ers, and I think a fresh start, right, from everything that he, was going through coming here to Jacksonville, but also, just getting a fresh start, I think would be, I think he's looking for that, would be in his best interest. So you got that for Charvarius Ward. DJ Reed is another guy, similar to what happened with Darius Williams. Remember when we signed Darius Williams? I think it was 3 years, $39 million, gave him that good contract. Small corner, was 5'9", but when we moved him to the outside, played very well, made a lot. He was very athletic, made game-changing plays. DJ Reed, he's a small but feisty, physical corner, and is not afraid to hit as well. And again, can play inside, can play outside with his size. And, he's a small corner, but holds up and plays. He's a better outside corner than inside corner. So DJ Reed will be a free agent this year. 64 tackles, 11 pass breakups, 57% allowed, and also 87.1 passer rating when targeted. So not bad in coverage. Gave him some plays, but also I think that was a testament to the Jets losing Robert Saleh. When Robert Saleh was there in that defense, DJ Reed was absolutely really good. He was a really good starting corner for them. So bringing him in a new, like obviously a structured defense, I think will improve him even better. Mekhi Becton is another guy I could see the Jaguars going after for the simple fact he's a Super Bowl champion. Moved to guard, right guard, went from tackle to guard and stayed healthy, had a full healthy season, something that's been an issue for him in his career, and played well. He played well. He's an elite run blocking guard, needs some refinement as a pass protector, needs to improve there, but Jacksonville needs to get bigger and stronger up front, and why not add a physical beast like Mekhi Becton, and seeing what Saquon Barkley did with helping his impact in the run game and in the run blocking game. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby are not, I'm not saying are Saquon Barkley, and are not probably going to have Saquon Barkley even if Mekhi Becton comes here, but again, it will vastly improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the run game, something that needs to be an emphasis in helping Trevor Lawrence take pressure off of him to get this run game and the pass protection going. And obviously he's coming off a Super Bowl champion, so bringing in a former Super Bowl champion, I think it makes a whole bunch of sense. Bringing in that winning coach, just a guy, a veteran who has been through a lot in his career, but has faced adversity. He's come back, and now he's on his way to getting a mega contract, whether that be from Philly or from somewhere else, maybe Jacksonville. Jair Alexander in via trade. Now, to me, when Jair Alexander is healthy, he's a top 5 safety in the NFL, corner in the NFL, straight up. I don't care what nobody says. Jair Alexander is a dog. He is a Pro Bowl, All-Pro. When healthy, is one of the best corners in the game. When healthy, that's been the problem. Since 2022 has not been healthy. He's missed a ton of games. He's played 7 games last year, and I think 7 or 8 the year prior. And it's a big reason why Green Bay is making him available for trade. So it makes sense for them to cut him or trade him. I think at most they'll get like a 4th round pick. He'll be 28 years old, so still quite young, heading into his prime a bit, but he's injury prone, so they're gonna get a pretty good return from him. I would say a 4th, 5th round pick, but I think it makes sense for Jacksonville to take a risk on him. But again, we have dealt with Tyson Campbell dealing with injuries a bit as well, so we'll see what but again, bringing in a star corner like that to pair with Tyson Campbell, I would take the risk. And he's making, I think, over $19 million. So they'll have to work out how they'll pay the salary, and the salary cap will work, and who pays this much salary and who makes that of his cap hit and salary. But I think it can work, and I think it makes a bunch of sense. I think it makes a good bit of sense, even though there's injuries. Look, there's some injury concerns with some of these free agent class, but look, it's worth taking a risk to try to improve your team. Lastly, I would say right designated pass rusher Josh Uche, a guy that I've looked for the Jaguars to trade for in the deadline, but Jaguars and Trent Baalke would not trade a day 3 pick, like that 6th, 7th round pick. I think Kansas City got him for a 6th or a 7th last year. He didn't really do anything. I barely saw him on the field there. But in his time with New England, he has, in his career, 20.5 sacks, 34 quarterback hits, 19 tackles for loss. This is a true 3rd down designated pass rusher. So bringing in a guy like Josh Uche, who can be come in as that 3rd pass rusher with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, it takes some pressure off of them, but also giving us that guy that we haven't had since Arden Key, right? Remember when Arden Key in 2022 was our 3rd pass rusher, and he was our 2nd best pass rusher when Trayvon Walker, because he was developing as a pass rusher, right? So bringing in that 3rd guy, now that you have Trayvon Walker continuously improving and getting better as a pass rusher, 10.5 sacks and 10 plus sacks in each of his last 2 seasons. Trayvon Walker is developing there, and you have Josh Allen, who's one of the best pass rushers in the game. Bringing in that 3rd guy who can come in and give you a spark would really help improve this defense. Plus, have the Jaguars potentially, taking defensive linemen in the draft. Spoiler alert, Mason Graham. So, I think it makes a lot of sense there. But yeah, guys, that's going to be my video for today. Mock draft is coming soon. I promise you, it's coming soon. The mock draft is ready. I've already sent it to a couple of my boys. I'm ready to drop it. I'm just waiting for the right time. But just be patient with that with me. Bear with me there. But appreciate y'all for watching this video. Thank y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, share. We really appreciate the support. Y'all be safe, man. Peace out.